All right. Well, it is 6 o'clock, so we will get going. So welcome everybody to the Public Utilities Commission meeting, Tuesday, April 13th. We will start with roll call, Jace.
Hassan.
Here.
Quorum.
Here.
Paul.
Here.
Nolan.
Here.
Kreisel.
Here.
Winkle.
Here.
Wonderful. And we're going to jump over approval of the March 9th, 2021 meeting minutes. You have an approval?
Move to approve.
You got a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, everybody. All right.
Andy, who's the second? I didn't recognize the voice. That's Susie.
Susie.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, so jumping right into it. So as you guys can all see, we have a few of our neighborly guests on the call with us this evening. So number 3 is discussion and possible action on the tourist sign located at the wastewater treatment plant. So, Kip, did you want to give a little back to this, or should we just turn it over to Mary Claire to kind of let everybody know what's going on?
Well, yeah, why don't we just turn it over to Mary Claire, because I don't know what the chamber wants, I guess.
Okay.
So, I guess, Mary Claire, if you want to give us kind of what you're thinking or what you're after or what's going on.
Well, here, let's just give a little backstory to this.
We know, we do know that with the Highway 35 project, there's a mainline sewer that runs right underneath that sign. So why they ever put it there, I don't know to start with. But that is going to be replaced. That mainline sewer down just north of the wastewater treatment plant is going to be replaced as part of the Highway 35 project. So with that being said, that sign is going to have to come out so they can dig that in. We've known about that. We've talked about it. I know Mary Claire and I kind of emailed back and forth. I believe it was like last December type thing. And so that's as much as I know. They're actually going to be down there. I got the schedule today, and they are going to be down there, I want to say around the middle of May. They're going to be in that area. So I have the schedule somewhere, but it's right around the middle of May is when they're going to be in that area doing that sewer work down there. So I guess, pretty much the chamber's got about a month to figure out what's going to happen with that thing. So that's my summary. Mary Claire, I'm throwing it in your court.
Okay, well, thank you. And I'm going to pass it to 2 other folks that I have on the call, but just I'm Mary Claire at the Hudson Chamber. So the welcome sign that is located down there by the treatment center, I did send to Andrew and Kip and Joyce. Hopefully they forwarded on the agreements that the sign has with the city, the Rotary, and the chamber. So it's really 3 entities that are involved in that welcome sign. And so I'm going to turn it over to Mark, and hopefully I think Kip did send out some photos to everyone so that you can see the sign. It looks much larger. Andrew and I talked about it. It looks much larger when you get down there. So it's not just a simple matter of taking the sign out while you can dig under there and putting it back. So I'm going to ask Mark and then Chris to follow up at this point.
Thanks, Mary Claire. And thanks for having us, folks. The sign dates back to 1990 when the presentation was made, and this was the result of an extensive study and planning, and it wasn't just that sign. There were 5 other signs throughout the city, and that was attached. They're attached to your to the agenda tonight. Essentially, the 9 pages after the minutes lay it out as to how we came to today. So the presentation was made to the city with the understanding that the chamber and it says the Hudson Rotary were going to maintain the sign, and that subsequently was looked at in 2010 when Mayor Knudsen was here. and as far as upgrading and things such as that. The history of this, it was designed by Mark and Tierney Putnam when they were in town, and Steve Wilcox's firm at that time, Environmental Landscapes, designed it, presented it. Mark Lebo signs, did the big pictures that are there, and these are very, they're sophisticated photos, and they have withstood weather over the past 28 years. And so it was approved. Letter of understanding was sent out. Those copies are there also from Denny Darnold as to what the maintenance would be. And it's, as Mary Claire said, it's the three parties. It's City of Hudson, Rotary, and in the Chamber. So looking at it, there were comments that I had read through emails making reference that it was dilapidated, that there was wood rot, et cetera. And that wasn't my finding. And Mike Moreau's looked at it today. I looked at it at 9 o'clock this morning, took photos of it, including the church signs that are to the south of this. Is my understanding, Kip, that those will stay in or aren't being removed through this. Maybe I'm wrong. But if so, it's the footings that are there. There's cement footings. There's electrical there. This was an elaborate sign, and if we're going to replace it, it's probably going to cost $30,000 based on what's sitting there, with the landscaping, everything involved. I also spoke today with Steve Wilcox. He was in the middle of a project as far as what can be done. I spoke with Chris Cost also about it, being on the chamber board. He had talked with Steve weeks ago. John Knutson, who was the one that made the presentation to the city, and again, trying to get a sense of recollection. The idea in talking with Moreau's on the concern that Mike had, and he is not on the call, is that right? I don't see him on my list here. That Mike, the concern was that the anchor bolts, for lack of a better term, weren't readily accessible that he could see. There's round footings, and if I have those photos, I took pictures of the footings themselves, and they're probably, I'm guessing, somewhere 10 inches across, tube type footings that were put down. But it's also a matter of both Moreau's and I believe that this could be taken off as one unit. And the idea is to take it off. There's the pictures. Thank you. And you can see the round footings. And this is looking at it from the west towards the east. And so the idea being to either cut them off if we can't, and that would be the simplest thing, and then lift that piece off. There had been discussions in Mike Johnson's email of Friday of moving it up to the former fire hall for the purpose of storage. In talking with Wilcox and also with Chris and Mike Moreau's, that if it's a matter of the thing needs some tender loving care right now, painting, cleaning. Steve and I talked in terms of power washing it and then repainting it and doing any repairs that need to be done. And then again, whether it can be put back, it sounds if you're going down all the way to sewer that all the electrical, et cetera, that's wired in there now, there are boxes in the ground sitting directly off the what I would refer to as the southwest corner of it, where the big sign gateway to Hudson is, that those are the access boxes. So the idea being that we would take it out of there, move it up, fix it up, have it ready. It is so vitally important to the city to have a welcome sign such as that. And this isn't just a fly-by-night. This is a really well done, well thought out. It matches the other 4 signs around town and the themes. And the great thing about it is you can change the theme of it on the front by nothing other than putting in some nuts and bolts to attach it, be it hot air affair, Spirit of the Croix, light up night, whatever it might be, concerts in the park, these types of things that are all beneficial to the city. So I would ask at this point to and we would have to make arrangements as to how we're going to move it. And that's going to be the expense. And I will be going to the finance committee for both the both Rotary clubs to find out what funding is there. I have no cost or no idea what the cost is going to be to move it. And with having the understanding, we're not going to be doing this on the 12th of May. So time is moving, so we'll get on it immediately. The big thing was where, how much, et cetera. That's been the hang up. So any questions?
So I think everybody completely understands what, and we all agree 100%. It's a beautiful sign. We don't want it to not be there. That's not the issue. The issue is that, if you can talk Public Works, I mean, they have the equipment. The utilities doesn't have any equipment to remove signs, backhoes, things of that nature with forks that we can do that. I mean, if Public Works can move it, that's not an issue. The thing is with this project, nothing was budgeted or nothing was prepared in this project that the contractor was to move it. So it's going to be up to the city or Public Works to move that. So, you're going to have to talk to Miraz, and I mean, I don't see why they can't move it. I'm sure that they're going to want something that if they're moving this thing, that if something happens to it, it falls apart while it's going down the road or something like that, who's going to be responsible for doing or any repairs or replacement of this. When it comes to putting it back, the contractor that's doing this project won't put it back. So it's kind of going to have to be something, after restoration is done, so it very well could be down for, a couple months this summer. And then after restoration is done, possibly it depends on how it comes out. After restoration is done, they might have to come back in there with an auger or something and put it back on concrete, because those concrete pillars that we were looking at, those will be gone.
Right.
Because I mean, we're going down, I want to say in that area, I want to say it's 20 plus feet we're going to be down. So they're going to have a very, very wide trench in that area. So anything that's in that area, electric and stuff, that they'll work around. That's not an issue for them. They're used to that. But those concrete pillars, once they start digging, those concrete pillars will just, fall into the hole, and they're just going to throw them away. So you would have to, redo concrete, drill the holes, pour the concrete, set the posts, things like that. So my main concern is that I guess the chamber wasn't expecting the contractor to do all this.
At least now, Kip, that we're if I can call you that rather than Mr.
Yeah,
Peters,
sure. Yeah.
that we're at least talking. So from the standpoint of, I don't believe it's going to be an issue. If once we get the funding, be it if people step up and say, whatever we need, sponsor a tube to, we go up to Menards, get the tubes, get the concrete, put the thing in, put the foundation down with approval. And as Mike and I were talking about that today, and the other is I had talked to Wilcox about whether or not Environmental Landscape has the plans for it. He doesn't have the plans anymore as to whether or not we could take it apart. And again, it's a situation, if it comes off in two pieces, if we can do that, that'd be great. It'd be easier rather than worrying about something cracking. But that's understood. And if we can get it back into the same location, because it is built up in that area, the landscaping was there. Again, that's all going to be gone. I'm a veteran of the Vine and 4th construction 4 years ago. Fully aware how deep it goes and what is involved with what's replaced, et cetera. So so that's understood.
Yeah, it's kind of, if you look, it is kind of up on that hill.
Right.
Everything should go back. Let me just see if I can get a good picture of it. All of this, this should go back in kind. So that little hill should be there. I mean, any bushes are going to be gone, things of that nature, but let me just see if I can. Oop. All right. You know, so all of, well, that's not a very good one. Well, everybody knows what we're talking about, but this will all be put back in kind. I mean, any gravel, you know, you're going to want to have that all touched up anyway. If you're going to have a brand new sign sitting there, you're going to want nice landscaping around it. But so I can talk to Mike Mraz too. He's aware of the schedule with the contractor coming in, you know, and like I said, it's going to be, we all know how hectic it's going to be down there. So I'm thinking, you know, as soon as, if you're going to have Public Works pull it out, or if Mraz agrees to pull it out, they're probably going to want to get in there ASAP and get that thing gone. And then once it's gone, you guys will just have to come up with a plan on how you're going to have it reinstalled again.
I don't see that as an issue.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, you know, we want the sign there, and we don't have the city doesn't have an issue with it being there. So I don't know why they put it over the top of a sanitary sewer in the first place, but
They might not
You know,
have known it was there.
well, and it might be something to where, you know, once that sanitary goes back in, we'd have to go back and look at your permits, you know, from the state, but it might even be worth looking at if we can just modify that a little bit and maybe move it at some point. Because the only thing I worry about anytime there's something over the top of sanitary, it should be a brand new line. So hopefully we won't have to touch it in a long, long time. But if something would happen and we would have to get back in there to dig that up, that sign's got to come down again. So, you know, I don't know if there's anywhere else we can move it on the property or something along that line, but I guess let's get the sanitary in first, see what everything looks like, and then we can just kind of take it from there. Does that sound like a plan?
I'll advocate for that. And Chris, you're on the board. Mary Claire is here. And Knutson is aware of it. He's on the chamber board also. We've got a finance meeting with the Hudson Daybreak on Friday. It's our grants meeting, but we'll talk, at least I'll try to get it on if I can talk to the person in charge of the meeting.
Yeah, it's done.
So we'll get it on and talk about
And
it.
then, and like I said, in the meantime, I would definitely reach out to Mraz and just, you know, see if there's going to be any costs involved, you know,
Right.
with Public Works moving it, if they will move it. That's the other thing. So, yep.
Kip?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea? I know you said it would be a wide trench. How big is that sewer line going in there?
Oh boy.
24?
Probably, Mary. I mean, that's a pretty big line coming through there. I'd have to look at my plans again to.
Okay,
We'll look at it.
because I was just thinking, you know, agreed that the sign should probably not go back over top the sewer line.
Right.
So the question is, how far away should it be moved? So,
Yeah, and I don't know
you
how
know,
much
like
room
I
is
said with
down
the
there.
trench,
Right. And I don't know how much room is actually down there that we're going to be able to do anything. It just might have to go back there again. With
There
the
is
expanding-
electrical, there's electrical to the west and water to the west. And that's why the picture with that fire hydrant shows the flags for electrical and water.
Right. So, yeah, once we get it back in, I mean, then we can figure out, you know, if that's the right place for it or if we move it or whatever. So,
Okay.
Yep, that works.
We'll keep talking.
is there a DOT right away setback?
Yeah, there is. I don't have it off the top of my head what it is. I don't know if it's in these. Oh, I didn't send you. Yeah, I didn't send you guys. I didn't include in the packet all of the DOT applications. There's really nothing on them that would pertain to anything that you guys cared about. So, but we can check into all that. Yeah, there is DOT. There's going to be setbacks for stuff like that. That's why they have to get that permit to put it in. So all that would have to be looked at again once it's ready to go back.
Okay. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Kip.
Thank you.
Yeah, our pleasure. Chris or Mary, did you guys have something you wanted to add as well?
Just looking at the timeline, you know, because I think, you know, some of the work we may do to the sign, you know, before it gets put back in, and then might need to do other work once it's in. But so Kip, if it's out at mid-May, what's your best estimate of when it could get put back?
All right, so they are planning on being in that area May 14th. And they're hoping to be out of there 10 days later.
Oh, so
Well, 23 days later, roughly. So they'll be in there mid-May. They'll be out of there mid-June. But that's not going to include, I don't know, restoration, landscaping, things of that nature. That could be towards the end of the project, and that's my guess. Is it going to be towards the end of the project? But I'm not 100% sure.
I mean, our hope would be to have the sign down as short amount of time as possible.
Oh, sure. Yep. Yeah.
That we can.
And as soon as you guys figure out if Public Works is going to put it back, or whoever is going to put it back, they can just kind of keep in contact with me or Miraz or somebody to kind of figure out, when the construction crews are going to be out of there and they're not going to be coming back in there. So that's easy. But at this point, I wish I could say, here's a date, but we all know how these projects go.
Well, and I know Mike had mentioned, if there is some funding that, since it is a partnership between the city, the chamber and Rotary, going back to the city to see if there's a little bit of funding to help, with this project too.
Right. Yeah. And that you'd have to talk to them about.
So there's no project money in the project.
Not for, if there was, I don't ever remember this being a specific topic. I mean, I know that there's sign money in there, but that's more, your state signs, speed limit, no right turn, all that kind of stuff. So I highly doubt that I'm willing to bet there's no money that was put in here from the state of Wisconsin to replace or redo anything with that sign. So my guess is if the city's going to contribute, or if they would contribute to it, it's going to have to come out of their general fund somewhere.
Joyce, you got money in there, right?
That's right. Let's go to Joyce. She has all the money.
I know, right?
I did mute everybody. I was getting a bunch of feedback there. So.
You can probably find something if it's needed.
I mean, if we all try to come together, that's the biggest
Yeah.
part.
Bring it to the council. I can't speak for the council as a whole, but
Oh, I know.
there's, we do have contingency funds and things like that. So
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and there's no reason, Mary Claire, I'll make sure I stay in contact with you too. And then as, if dates change or anything like that, I know Kip's really good at keeping us updated on dates and times of projects happening. So I'm sure that you'll, hear from him as well.
Very good.
But yeah, we'll keep figuring it out. I think everybody wants to see this thing, stick around, obviously. It's a very nice sign too. I think it's definitely kind of a, it's a window into Hudson when you pull downtown. So I agree that we definitely need to figure out something to keep it. So
the other,
go ahead, Kurt, go ahead.
The other thing that you're going to want to worry about too is those lights that are there.
Right.
What you want to do with them, type thing. So.
Well, we'd like those to be back there and working again, right, Mark?
Yeah, you're going to want to, somebody's going to have to remove them. The state contractor will not remove them.
And that's what, Mike and I will talk about that, but I think also this is probably the opportunity to upgrade them to LED lights so that the cost of those will go down.
Yeah.
And at least the operation.
Get a better light, a brighter light or something along that line. So.
Well, we really appreciate being able to meet with you tonight and join your meeting tonight. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Absolutely.
Put us up in the
Appreciate you
agenda.
guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Was there any other questions? You guys are good? Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys. Have a great evening.
Bye.
You too.
All right. All right. So carrying on here. Thank you for that, Kip. Appreciate the information. Always a good thing to help other people out in the community. So I appreciate getting that on the agenda and making time for it. So moving on, we are now at number 4, discussion and possible action on gas buoy fuel system. I know this is in everybody's packet as well. Kip, did you want to go over that?
Yeah, I can, I'll touch on that here real quick. No, I don't know where it went now. I was gonna share my screen, but I don't know where it went. So at the new fire station, or when they built the new fire station up there, part of the remnants that were left were some fairly new fuel tanks. Currently, every city of Hudson vehicle has to refuel up at the Department of Public Works, which is up by Lake Malibu, way up the hill. This includes not only all of our vehicles, but it includes police vehicles, fire trucks that got to try to climb that hill up and down that thing and stuff like that. So when they built the new fire station, there was some tanks that were left there from the golf course. Part of what we're looking to do is utilize those tanks. Back in 2020, we actually budgeted money for this, or I know I did. So we had money in the budget back in 2020. With COVID and everything that happened, everything kind of got pushed. This project never did happen. So in your packets, I wish I had my share screen up. But anyway, in your packets, I gave you an issue sheet that talks about the project, and then it breaks it out into department and what they're responsible for based off of number of vehicles and things that, ones that were using it. So the water portion of the total project for this is $67,740.02. The water portion of this is $10,209.12, and wastewater is $3,828.42. Like I said, it's with the, especially this summer with the Highway 35 project going on, it's really going to be a nightmare trying to get to the Public Works building to fuel trucks, to fuel cars, to fuel everything up. So that's kind of why we're doing it now. The convenience of having something, where the new fire station is now, you're looking at, a time savings for staff, more of a better convenience, more central location just for everybody. So what we're looking at, our total cost between the two is, $14,000, roughly. What we would have to do is actually use, this is a non-budgeted item, so we would have to use reserve funds for this. So that's what I'm looking for tonight, is an approval of our portion of this project, and then to use reserve funds, since it is not a budgeted item, to use reserve funds to pay the cost of this.
All right. Anyone have questions? I know I got a couple, but anybody else have questions?
Kip, I was curious. You said it was on last year's budget. Did it not go on this year's? Is that?
Yeah, we didn't put it. I never even. It was one of the. In our budget. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of money, but it just kind of got forgotten about. We didn't move it forward. It was in my 2020 budget, which was approved. We just never moved anything forward to 2021, and no one did. Public Works, fire, police, nobody moved it. So all of the departments are going to have to go through this, and it's not even guaranteed that this is even going to happen. I don't know how the city is sitting, financially, if they have their portions of this. Public Works is pretty expensive at $26,000. You got police at $13,600. So they have to all look at this too, and then City Council is going to have to look at it. But I just kind of wanted to get it on the agenda today so we can talk about it. And if you guys want to approve it, that's just one less hurdle that we have to jump through. So
I guess my only question would be, obviously, we're moving towards a time where, we're moving towards electric, right, for vehicles. And that's in the not so distant future here. We're, 3-4 years away from Ford basically switching their whole entire lineup to electric. I know it's been brought up on a couple city council meetings. So, with that in mind, are we willing to, take on a 67, call it $70,000 project for something that, and I'm not saying we're going to replace all of our city trucks right away, but, we're investing $70K right now for something where I see in the next, 10, 15 years, we might not have a great use for this, especially if we have a station right across from Malhoo. Does anybody else have that concern or not really?
I guess, Andy, my response to that would be, if you look at that chart, currently we've got 114 vehicles in the city.
Yeah.
That are using one single station at Public Works. And I guess staff wise, for my guys, to go from our building here, on the south side of 94 where we're currently located, to weasel through traffic and everything else to go get a tank of fuel. It takes time, to get up there. And like I said, with the fire station being a central location, I don't anticipate us turning over to electric vehicles in a long time. I will definitely get our $14,000 worth of cost out of this project. I think we would.
You think you'd get it out of time saved?
Oh, time saved. Just trying to get up and through the traffic, just way more convenient for everybody. That, like we've always talked about, that's kind of why we moved, just for a central location, just for convenience and time savings and all that kind of stuff. So
Maybe Joyce can answer this question. Joyce, I know Public Works did a presentation on a future Public Works garage too, right?
Yes.
Any idea how many years down the road that is?
About 5.
Boy.
They talked about, I can't remember exactly what the steps were, but, it's going to take time to design and figure out how we're going to pay for it and all of that. So yeah, they were estimating about 4 to 5 years.
Do they have a location on that?
They proposed the location along Hanley and O'Neill, at Hanley and O'Neill.
Okay. So what we're asking for now is just an approval for basically our portion of, call it $14,000. We're not sure if this is going to go through yet because each individual department needs to pay that share that you have listed on there, correct?
correct.
Okay.
So-
If this passes, I've got another question quick. This is David. If this passes, is the old system going to be retired then? We're not going to maintain that system, are we?
Yes. Yeah, they would still maintain that system until Public Works probably moves. And then I'm assuming at that point, they'll either put a new system in, or if that system's, I don't even know how old, that system's old, I know that. I know that's part of the problem. Part of the problem that we're having with the old system is the finance is having an extremely difficult time tracking what's actually going through there. The computer system, I don't know a ton about this, but from what I'm hearing through finance is, they have to track each individual vehicle so they know what department that money comes out of to pay for that fuel. They're having an extremely hard time tracking it. The software is old, different things like that. So that's kind of why we're wanted to move to this one for better tracking and finance also, plus for convenience.
Where does the fire department fuel up?
At Public Works. They go up that big, huge hill with them fire trucks every time.
So
they fuel every time they go out. They need a full tank when they go back to the station. So
if they don't retire that system up there and everything, well, why would Public Works use the new one?
Well, they'll use it. Public Works will definitely be using that for snowplow events. We've talked before about salt sheds, so they do go back and fuel up and things like that. So, you do have Public Works running, on the south side of town, that they might have to run back and fuel up, during a snowplow event or sometime like that. So. Yeah, it's not going to, the old system will still be there. And I can't remember, to be completely honest, I can't remember if this includes anything. I'm just trying to real glance this over here real quick.
Well, Parks is up at by the fire station now, right?
Well, part of Parks is up by the fire station now, yes. And part of it's still up at Public Works. So yeah, I mean, they definitely be using it for parks, lawnmowers, all your park equipment. But I guess that's up to them. Right now we're just looking at our, what did I say? 14,000 combined.
Well, if the other departments go for it, don't you think they would abandon the one up at the old Public Works garage?
I don't know, Mary.
Well, it's possible that they could keep that one going and only use it for Public Works vehicles so that they don't have to worry about the accounting for different departments.
That could be it too.
It could be designated. It's also a good idea to have a backup.
Yeah, I agree. I guess the only thing that I would question then is Public Works going to be willing to cough up $26,000 to build this new one if they're not going to use it?
That's why I said, we're the first ones out of the gate here.
Gotcha.
So, this might not even happen. It might just be where the other departments cannot, or the city cannot find the extra money for this, to build it. So I guess, yeah, we're just first out of the gate, are we in, are we out, type thing. And then it falls to, the rest of the departments in the city to see if they can get their share. If they can, great. Then we can move forward with it. If they can't, the project would probably just die sometime this year. But it's just, I have to come to you guys because it's a non-budgeted item.
Right.
So
if this project does not go through, then you'll have to use commercial places to fill up when the access to the Public Works garage.
We've talked about that. Hopefully if this project goes through, hopefully we can get it done before we run into them issues, Joyce.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, you got to remember that when the city purchases fuel, we're purchasing it at a price that you're not purchasing it at the pump at.
I know.
We're getting a way better deal on that, because we buy in such bulk and we buy so frequently.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe it's a contracted price.
Yes.
I think.
I've seen the contracts.
Okay, so it's a contracted price.
Finance and council. Mm-hmm.
So if push would come to shove that we don't have access to that facility this summer, we are going to have to start purchasing on our credit cards or set something up at a local fuel station or something at a local gas station to do this. And like I said, even if all the departments pass this month, I don't know if it's going to be ready or not. I truly don't.
Do we not have anything at our current facility, at our utilities facility where, we bought it from Excel. Did Excel not have a tank or anything there?
No.
Okay.
No.
What's the capacity of the tanks that are at the public or at the fire station?
I'm guessing probably 5 to 1,000, 500 to 1,000 gallons.
And what's the capacity of the one at Public Works?
They're about the same size as the ones that we have at Public Works.
Mm-hmm.
Similar.
How often do they have to fill the one at Public Works? Do you know?
I don't know. I've never seen them fill them. And I've never seen them fill them.
Okay.
Does the city have any kind of agreement with any of the gas stations in the city for discounted pricing?
Not that I'm aware of, but that is a discussion where staff is having internally. So if we do run into an issue, can we go to one of the local gas stations, have an account set up to where we can get, maybe a lower fuel price where we can just charge locally instead of using our credit cards and all that. Because if we got to start putting fuel on our credit cards, it's going to mess that up too. because I mean, you got to figure with 114 vehicles, there's a lot of fuel going through them vehicles.
It's going to be a lot of accounting that
Yes.
needs to be done. Yeah, I can see that. Well, I'll move to approve.
So we are looking for a motion to approve a total amount of $14,037.54 for this new fuel station up at the fire station. Joyce, you made the first motion. Do we have a second?
Was that the total? I don't have the here. I can give you the total price. Or did you?
You don't trust my math? Come on.
Did you do math? Okay, and I'll trust it. All right.
I did math.
All right.
All right. Do
For
we have a
purposes
second?
of the utilities, should we have two different motions, one for water?
Yeah, it's
one
probably
for-
a good idea if you want to do it that way. Just break out, make a motion for water to spend $10,209.12 and make another motion for wastewater to spend $3,828.42.
Okay, I'll start with the water motion then.
Okay. Water motion for $10,209.12. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Dave seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Now we need a motion for wastewater in the amount of $3,828.42. We have a motion.
So moved.
And I'll second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you very much. All right, moving on. We are on to number 5, discussion and possible action on the wastewater treatment plant improvement project, Magny Construction Inc., change order number 2.
Okay, so included in your packet was change order number 2 in the amount of $20,659.30. We knew coming into these, that's why we do a contingency on these projects. So we knew coming in there, that there's always going to be something that's going to be coming up. If you actually go to the third page of that, of those 3 pages, there's a chart in there, or a box that includes the breakdown of everything. So there's a part of it was a new garage door new south door. It's an entry door. We were hoping to reuse the old one. That one, when they tore it out, the insides were all rusted and stuff. So on the metal door, so that needed to be replaced. The concrete ramp conduit, MCC spare bucket refurbishment and downspout relocations. That's on the lab building where we had to put in concrete ramps for ADA compliance. The MCC spare bucket it's electrical housings that once they got in there, a bunch of the electrical housings were shot, so they needed to replace those. Some shower valves, aluminum door change, some UV wiring, blower control wiring, some bathroom accessories. We were planning on reusing some of the accessories, and again, when they took them off the wall, they just weren't.
When you say bathroom accessories, are you talking like toilets?
Paper towel holders, toilet paper holders, soap dispensers, ceiling fans, things of that nature.
Pictures for the wall.
Pictures for the wall.
That's crazy. $2,600 for.
Right.
Yeah, when you start getting into some of that commercial type stuff, it does.
But
Well, that was-
the stuff that I've seen is as long as you buy the paper towel and the soap from the vendor, you get them free. So I don't know what the city, what we're currently using for vendors, but $2,700 worth of bathroom accessories.
Well, the only vendor that we really use for a lot of our supplies right now is Uline. We don't shop through salesmen that stop at the plant, things of that nature.
No, neither do we. We go
expensive.
through like
it's
Ecolab or things like that, a vendor just like Uline, but
I can have more of
$2,700 seems extreme.
I can get more of a breakdown if you want more of a breakdown.
Well,
of
I don't want to
bathroom
micromanage it and everything, but that's same thing with like the Marine Edge, and I don't on lab countertops. Was that an oversight when we looked at it, or what's the difference between the other one, other than
The marine edge,
$3,000?
the marine edge brings the countertop up, so there's a lip on it. So if there is a spill when they're using their chemicals and different things like that, that it doesn't, come off onto them, onto the floor.
Right, but I
things of that
find
nature.
it hard to believe that it's a $3,000 upcharge to put that countertop edge on it or to fabricate the countertop. It's almost like, well, how long is this countertop?
Well, it's the entire, total 100 feet. There's a lot of counter in that lab.
That still seems, and the steel personnel door, the first item, is it solid steel for 3,000?
That's your standard, steel door. Yes.
That seems expensive
You gotta,
for a personnel door.
I know, let's keep in mind, I agree, and I'm not disagreeing with anything you guys are saying. These are the prices that we get from the contractor doing the work. SEH does look at them. They compare them to other projects and other things that are going on. If they do see I didn't give you guys the other one. If they do see something that's way out of whack or way out of line, they do negotiate and work with the contractor on that. But according to what we're seeing, these are fair.
One more question. Why go to a 2-piece shower instead of a 1-piece? I would think a 1-piece.
They couldn't get the 2-piece through the doors.
They couldn't get the one.
They couldn't get the 1-piece through the doors. Sorry. Yep. They ordered the 1-piece. They came. They couldn't get them up. These are upstairs in the office area is where the showers are, and they could not wiggle them and get them through the doors. So they had to go to a 2-piece.
All right. So with this change order, it sounds like, I do kind of agree with Dave. I mean, the bathroom accessories, it seems a little high. That's why I asked if there was like toilets or urinals installed in that, because $2,650 for soap dispensers. I mean, how many bathrooms is this, Kip?
Three. Sorry.
3 bathrooms.
3. Yeah, two in the office building, 1 in the lab.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if we can have maybe a little bit more detailed breakdown of that, cost per item wouldn't be bad. I don't think it's micromanaging. I think that we should still, look at this and make sure the money's being spent appropriately. I personally don't know much about the marine edge, but yeah, I mean, that $3,000 for a lip on a countertop. I mean, you say it that way and it sounds so simple. Is this something addition that they tack on, or the lip, or is it one solid piece?
I believe it's the solid piece. Yeah. From what we were told, it lips, it curves up. Like I said, so when they're working with their chemicals, when they're working with the water, wastewater, it won't leave the counter.
Okay. All right. Well, is everybody in agreement? So we kind of want to. Oh, Kurt, you're on mute. Sorry. Can you unmute Kurt? He's
Yeah,
on mute
trying.
right now. Sorry.
I think he has to.
There you go.
There you go.
All right. So my problem with this, and I know that it just happens over and over and over with municipalities across the country every single day. I hate our system because what happened here is they're low bidders and now they're going to make it up. And none of these are big. None of these are big. So it makes us feel like micromanagers. But $2,600 here, $5,200 there. I mean, I'll say it straight up as me. I'm sick of it as a commissioner because they were low bidder. Let's hold them to it. I mean, that's how I feel. Because otherwise we're going to get nickeled and dimed. I mean, I'd love to know, what is the overage so far?
Your overage so far was the only thing that we had overage. Well, not the only thing, was the Magni change order number 1 with them piles.
Well, okay, that one.
That's the only thing that was change order number 1. This is change order number 2.
2 points. Number one is that they're only 36% complete, and there's only $500,000 left in the contingency. And point number two is the next item on the agenda only has 4 of these items on the change order. It's change order 2, but only 4 of them are on there, not the other ones for the pay request.
Are you looking at the rebar fab? Mary?
Sorry. The 4 items that are on the pay request.
Yep.
On the last line is the personnel door, the new garage door, the aluminum door color change, but it said frame on the pay request. The storm structure and the 2-piece shower. Those 4 items, right, are on the pay request. These other items are not.
The storm structure 72, that's actually a credit.
That's a negative, yeah.
Yeah, that's a credit.
But when I compared the 2, because I saw it change order 2 at the end of the pay request, I went, okay, where are the rest of them?
Well,
and why are these on there?
That's because the door has already been done. That they had to have that door in order to build the wall at the south wall. The aluminum and the same thing with that door. And then the 2-piece shower is when they received the 1-piece, which didn't fit. So they had to get the 2-piece. So those 3 items are already completed in the project. You're just seeing the change order now on it, which does happen. You know, we can't hold the project up to wait for our next meeting for a month.
Well, that's a faulty system, because then I'd say we don't have to pay it. Because they didn't have approval.
Oh, they had approval from me.
I'm not sure that that's the same.
Well, we need to, I don't know what you guys want to do here. So.
How would you guys like to proceed? I mean, I tend to agree with Dave on this a little bit. I'd like to get a little bit more information, but it sounds like, has this work already been done, Kip?
The 3 things I mentioned have already been done. You know, I know we had this conversation when this project was talked about, when we knew that there was going to be change orders coming in.
Yeah.
You know, when we're talking about a 2-piece shower to a 1-piece shower, I can't hold the project up, or we're going to get yelled at for holding up the project. So when they come to me and say, you know, hey, it's going to be $1,500 extra to go, you know, from a 1-piece to a 2-piece, we need to get this going, because it's just not installing that. I mean, that holds the flooring up, that holds the painting up, that holds everything else up. So I do make some of those decisions, you know, when it gets to a certain dollar amount, which we've never talked about.
I thought we had talked about that.
Well, we had the discussion on well 10,
But that was,
where you guys actually
was that just
gave
for
me-
another project?
Yeah, it was well 10, where you guys actually
Okay.
gave me the authority to
Go up
make
to
change
10,000.
orders. I think it was up to like $20,000.
Right.
And then obviously the change order has to still come back to you to, you know, for official approval. But, you know, I can't hold a project up for another month. And I don't think you guys want to have a meeting every single time some little change order comes up for $1,500. If that's what you want to do, we can definitely do that. But it's kind of my responsibility to keep this thing going too, and look at this and just keep everything rolling along.
I think what might give our group some more confidence in all of this is the reassurance via actual paper in front of us showing that they looked at, let's say, 3 bids, and that they can show us the 3 bids for these things, to know that when you've got something like aluminum door color change clear to brown for $2,358, you know, you kind of wonder, well, you know, what was that? Was that like a whole different door? and, and what's behind all the charges? Do they have restock fees? Do they send back? And, are there fees involved with all of that? So maybe if there was something that was actually on paper that we could see to show that they didn't just grab the easiest thing, but instead we're actually looking out for our best interest in this.
Yeah. All right. Did anybody else have comment, concern they would like to share? No? All right. Well, Kip, I know you're looking for a motion on this to approve it. So let's put it out there and get it on the table. So motion to approve change order number 2. Do we have a
I'll
motion?
make the motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
And there's going to be more. Let's just be honest. We know that. It's a $12 million project, so we know that there's going to be more change orders coming. They're inevitable. What I will do is I will try to get you guys as much information as I possibly can on, if it's going to be, like you said, blower control wiring. I'm just picking one out. What is it? If you guys want to see all the paperwork on it, we can definitely get, all that kind of stuff, and just kind of give you more information if that's what you want. As long as we're talking about this, is there any issues with me making calls on certain items when it comes to change orders?
Kip,
Because I don't want to start making calls, and now you guys are sitting here. I'm feeling questioned about making a $1,500 call, not to hold the project up. But if that's what you guys want, I can bring everything back to everybody.
Well, I don't have a problem with you making calls like that, Kip, and everything. But as we go through these lists, I get it with the showers. That's a no-brainer. I am totally baffled by $2,600 in bathroom accessories for 3 bathrooms. I'm the UV field wiring. I don't know enough about that, but who missed that? Somebody had to miss that. Is that our issue? Is that somebody else's issue? The marine edge on the lab countertops, same thing. Is that just something that we're requesting now over and above what we originally bid out to make sure that we're not getting chemicals on everybody? It makes sense to make a call like that. But again, as we go through this process, like you said, $20,000 in a $12 million project isn't a lot. But if we give you that authority to make those decisions, it's making sure that you're questioning that, okay, what are we getting for $2,600 in bathroom accessories?
Right.
And we can't just say SDH thinks it's okay. I've never seen SDH question anybody's prices, honestly.
So would you guys feel more comfortable? All right. You already made a motion. You already seconded it. You already voted and passed on.
But may I add, Andy, you never called for no's, and I'm a no.
Here. So the 4 things that are already in the pay request. So you've got the door, the 2 door items, the storm structure, that's a credit. And then you've got the 2-piece, one piece to 2-piece shower. I don't know if any of this, I don't know if this, I was just going to say you could approve those 4 things and not approve the other things included in this change order, but I don't know how that's going to hold anything
It's
up.
too late. We can't do that. We've already voted on it. So it's already been passed.
Actually, you can move to reconsider.
Sure, you can. But like I said, I'm just going to take blower control and wiring, $331.80. I don't know where they're at in the process to when they need that approved or not. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. More questions?
Well, shouldn't SEH be giving us more information about that? Isn't that part of their?
Well,
job?
this is standard, Joyce.
Mhm,
But
okay.
if you're looking for more, we can definitely get more.
Mhm.
I mean, I can get more information. That's not a problem, because all of this does have to run through, they have to submit, I'm looking emergency fixtures and different things like that. That all has to be submitted.
Mhm.
I just don't, then SEH gives me a bunch of information. I try to keep packets maybe a little bit too light sometimes. Maybe that's my fault, where I don't want to inundate you guys. So you guys are scrolling through, what
200 pages. Yeah.
Well, the last city council meeting was 550 some pages long or something like that.
Yeah.
We can do that. We can throw all that in there so you have the information. I don't have an issue with that. And from now on, that's what you'll be getting. We can definitely do that. That's not a problem.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
But based on that, okay, the packets are going to be longer. I don't know if that really got to the point of $2,600 for bathroom fixtures. I mean, that's not going to answer that. I think this group needs somebody advocating for fair pricing.
Well, and I think I do that. I mean, if you don't feel I do, I guess that's your opinion, but I think I do advocate for that.
Okay, I'll
You're
just
just
put,
not-
I mean, if you were paying it out of your wages, would you pay $2,600 to outfit 3
Well, that's completely
bathrooms?
unfair, Kurt, because I'm not buying this type of stuff to go in my bathroom in my basement at my house. I mean,
Okay, so you
if
want a
guys,
commercial space.
if you guys want, why don't you approve the 4 things that are on there, rescind your motion, approve the 4 things that are on there, and then we'll just, if it holds the project up or whatever happens, we'll just wait. If I have to call a special meeting because they need.
I don't think that's
something,
necessary.
I don't know what else to tell you, Andy.
No, I know. I don't think that's necessary. I understand, Kurt. I get it. Dave, I agree with what you said too. I think, let's move forward though. We don't need to hold up the project. I don't want any of this to be held up. Let's move forward. We motioned on it. We got other items we have to review. I think going forward though, I guess, Kip, no one's saying you're not looking at it. That kind of came to a surprise to me as well, just with the cost of a bathroom accessory. I agree with that. But I think for the time being, I think we should just move forward here. And then, we can talk about it a little bit more later down the road. So moving on, we are now on number 6, discussion and possible action on wastewater treatment improvement project, Maiden Construction Inc. Pay request number 10.
All right, so you've got that in your packet. Pay request number 10 is in the amount of $357,619.90. All the information is in there on what they're turning in. So, okay, so I after you guys discuss it or talk about it, then I got something else to say on that. So there's no questions.
Anyone have questions?
Move to approve.
Do we have a second? Pat, did you second? You're on mute right now. Sorry. Pat's waving his hand. Yeah? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All against? Motion carries.
Everybody got my email too today, right?
Yes, sir.
with pay apps and where we're at? Okay.
Yes. Number 7, discussion and possible action on annual water quality report.
So in your packet, you've got the quality report. Same thing that we do every year. It needs to go out. It will be on the water and sewer bills that will be going out next week. The little blip that we put at the bottom that says that it is available if anybody is interested in seeing it. If you actually just kind of go through it, the biggest thing that you want to look at is under the test results chart that's in there. If you go through and look under violation, it's all no's. So we did not have any violations or anything like that this year, or anything detected and things like that. Other than that, it really doesn't change a whole lot from year to year. It's just updating the chart with the latest and greatest results that we have. So this will be available, here in the office. We will put this on the city website for viewing if anybody wants to view it. And like I said, we will also have a blip on the bottom of the water bills that says it is available to meet the requirements by DNR. So
Awesome.
Kip, great job. Thank you and the guys and gals for getting this taken care of and not having any issues with violations. So thank you.
You're welcome, and I will let them know.
Great job. Oh, and just a side note, Mary Claire had sent up an email. I don't know if the commission got it. I'll make sure I send it out to everybody, but there is a new resident to town who the utilities department was able to help out, and they wrote a very, very nice email saying how great the workers were and how impressed they were with how they handled themselves. So wanted to recognize Kip and his guys for that as well. So great job with that. And then Kip, we don't need any kind of motion on this, or do we?
Yeah, you should.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave. Do we have a second?
Accept it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So much. Motion carries. Moving on to number 8, project updates, project status report.
So what we got, you also have a memorandum in there from SEH. The new pretreatment building, the cast in place concrete walls are completed up to grade level. The installed geofoam, the activated sludge tanks were coated and the diffuser installation began. So they've got two more of those to do, and UV disinfection channel walls were coated, electrical connections were wired, influent pipe was installed. And UV equipment was installed in preparation for disinfection startup. They have started that system up now, and everything seems to be running fine. So in there, you've also got a few pictures just of the pretreatment building, the middle aeration or the middle sludge tank, some UV channeled influent pipe, and then the kind of an overview of what that UV channel in the new building actually looks like. So that's just in there just for your information. State Highway 35 project, we have our pre-con meeting on this Thursday. So we will be meeting with the state, A1, the contractor who's going to be doing the water and sewer work, things like that. So, and like I said, that's scheduled here to begin. They will be moving in traffic control. They'll be starting to do all of that kind of stuff here on the probably later this first part of next week. They'll be starting to bring everything in. So that's when you're going to start seeing your traffic signs going up, your cones, everything that everybody loves to that says summer or spring and summer is here. So they'll be starting on that. So that's basically the wastewater treatment plant. We've talked about that tonight. The Lake Malibu Dam rehab is completed. That is done. I'm waiting on the final report from DNR on that, and then we will be closing that grant out. So that if everybody remembers, that was a 50-50 matching grant through DNR. So we will be closing that out here probably the next month or so. and getting that project wrapped up. So that's about it.
Kip, have you gotten the final report from pulling the pump on well 5?
Not yet, no. I'm guessing really soon here.
Do you know if there was anything weird with it?
Nothing that they called us on and shocked us. That's always a good thing. When they don't call you, sometimes that's good.
Kip, will it be starting up backflow prevention again?
We are finishing that. Yeah, I want to say there's about 130 homes left that we have not done. Letters actually, as a matter of fact, letters actually went out today. Yesterday or today, letters went out to all those homes indicating that they needed to get that done yet this year. The majority of the ones that have not been done were some that people just did not want us in the home, because of COVID. So we pushed that off. And the majority of them, though, are irrigation, to where it got too late in the fall. They had their irrigation systems shut down already for the year, so they can't be tested. So we have to wait until this spring when they fire them back up to have them tested. So, but yeah, as long as everybody, hopefully everybody cooperates and we can get in and get this done. So hopefully in the next couple of months we get this wrapped up.
Good. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Kip. All right, moving on. Number 9, other business for information purposes only or for upcoming agenda.
I had nothing other than, like I said, I just sent you guys that email today to just kind of let you know where we were in the Clean Water Fund process with reimbursements on that. So that's about it.
Anyone have questions? All right, number 10, sewer utility and water utility cash report.
We did not get them. They're still having the software switch over that they're doing. They're still having issues with a lot of that stuff. It's kind of part of what's holding up. Bills should have gone out by now already.
Yeah.
But they're having issues. Some of the information isn't transferring from the old system to the new. So I know that they're diligently working on that, trying to get that figured out. They're hoping to have it done here by the end of the week. So that's why we're hoping to have bills ready for next week. And just a bit of information, just so everybody is aware, when you do get your bill this time, the city is actually including a bookmark. I think, is that right, Joyce? Is it a bookmark?
For the golden rule, yes.
Yeah, the golden rule thing. So the city is actually including a bookmark in your utility bill this month. So just, it's going to be in there, just so you know.
Okay. Number 11, discussion and possible action on claims.
I just have a question for either Kip or Jace. I know with the new system, it's been weird, but I was wondering why the 413 payables aren't in the same format as the other payables. No idea.
Yeah, probably. Jace, you're on mute. Jace, you're on mute. I'm guessing, Mary, it has everything to do with this whole switching software. It seems this was a pretty big deal, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not the financial person, but they have been struggling with this financial software. And it's not that they don't know it. It's from what I'm understanding, it's trying to bring all the old stuff, because it was so antiquated, over to the new, and that's where they're running into issues. So
Well, it's just that I did notice that there are some vendors that showed up in the new report with, the accounts they were charged for, but this one report didn't. And anyway.
I don't know, Mary,
there's a transition.
It is with the a changeover of the financial systems that some of this information may not be included from report to report. But over a period of time, it will be consistent throughout. It's just like Kip said, it's going to just take some time.
Yeah, no, I thought so. I know going from DOS to a 21st century system makes a difference.
That's exactly what it is.
That's almost right on the money there with it.
That's it.
Boy, that was a big change.
Need a motion for the claims?
Yes. Can we get a motion, please?
Move to approve.
Got a second? Dave, second. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Number 12, adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
Susie, second. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great
Thank you,
night.
everybody.